Hello, Barry.
Hello.
So it is the appointed time and we're all here. So I'll call the meeting to order. And I don't know Barry Pinsky, you know him, but he's the guy that carves bears. And you had said you might come to meetings, and here you are.
There's a party in town.
There you go.
I can't stay for the whole thing, but I wanted to check it out.
And then Teresa is Damon's partner, so wife, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Be careful what you say these days.
30 years.
All the above.
Sure,
Yeah. Great. So we will begin by approving the minutes. I don't know, Julie, if you were prepared to amend them, but I did point out that item 6, next business, is usually has the gap inventory, and we'll bring it to the next meeting, which is not true.
Correct. So we should, where is that again?
That's the last page.
6? No, page 7?
It's
Okay, yes.
Item 6.
Page 7, line 303, does say that Julie, if Julie has the gap inventory, but before the next meeting, Damon will try to have some preliminary search. That doesn't make sense. So I'm not really sure what was being said there. You talked about Damon was going to try to have some preliminary surveys. I think what we said is you would discuss the gap inventory at the next meeting. Potentially. So, I think it should just be amended to say, Julie said we may discuss the gap inventory at the next meeting. I didn't say we have it.
Yes.
That was for
The
certain.
goal was if we could generate a useful business list or get one,
Right.
that we would try a first pass at a gap report and even figuring out what that was.
Yeah.
And I think based on what Carl's generated, we've done that.
Yes. Okay, so let's just correct the minutes to kind of clarify that. We'll have Sue wrap that from what you just said.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll make the motion to approve as amended.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion's made to approve as amended. Any other amendments, or we good? Okay, those in favor say aye. Aye. I would say that it passes. The next item is citizen comments. That's an opportunity. We don't seem to have anyone on Zoom, so Teresa and Barry could say something if they wanted. Barry's
Or not. Great.
choosing. Yeah, that's fine. So
I'm here as a spy from Springfield, actually.
okay, all right. So then, why don't we just move right on to governing bylaws, and just so you know, what I put on the agenda, the mission was in our governing bylaw, which the select board adopted. At our last meeting, what was in italics at the end is what I thought I heard Damon and others say might be nice to add. Carl's come up with another one. And so let me just say that this is all fine. It's just that we are a creation of the select board. So whatever change we want to do to the mission statement has to go back to them, just so you know. Usually, Julie and I talked about this. I mean, that we're usually advised that a mission statement should just be, the thing that you can say when you're on the elevator before the doors open. Somebody says, "Oh, what do?" You got a line. They can be long with a summary, but short of that, I don't know. Carl, do you want to speak to what? Because you put a little energy into this. What you were thinking?
So a couple of things. I grabbed the wrong laptop. I do want to get a Chester government email address.
Yes, Amy's
Yes.
working on those
Okay,
for both of you. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have that in
And for
front of me. But just as I was looking at the mission statement and thinking about, being intentional, and really thinking about where we want Chester, what we want Chester to look like in 20 years. It's not just, bigger grant marks, bigger tax base. It's, really retaining the identity of what Chester is and everything that we want. So having that centered as part of the mission, I think will help drive it over the next couple of decades.
Okay.
So I don't actually have it in front of me right now, but that was the intent.
Well, I'll pass it to you,
Okay,
and you
perfect.
can, and then you'll have it in front of you. Yeah.
Okay, so I was proposing the mission of the Chester Economic the commission is to steward Chester's long-term prosperity by setting clear direction, aligning community effort around reinforcing economic engines, including tourism, agriculture, forestry, local services, and compatible light industry, and building the local capacity to execute. And so the local capacity to execute is where, I'm thinking outreach, mentorships to the, young people, engaging the seniors in the community to kind of collect their insight and their knowledge so that they can meaningfully contribute in a very intentional way. And then so that 20 years from now, Chester is stronger, more resilient, and unmistakably itself. So everything that makes Chester today, I want it to be like that in 20 years. I just want us to be, the best version of Chester and not trying to be something we're not.
Yeah, the phrase unmistakably self-con. I don't know if it's one that'll survive, but it's kind of an interesting phrase. Go ahead, Phil.
I thought, I saw a draft of this that included a phrase dealing with the grant list.
That is on the agenda. And that was, actually, if you look, do you have Carl's email right there?
Unless it was,
Because
that was
the paragraph, second paragraph is what he's proposing. The first one is what, it's even not quite what we have now, but what was talked about at the last meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's with an emphasis on bringing in new business.
That's what was discussed at the last meeting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that had been agreed to.
I think what we said at the last meeting was that we would add this as an agenda item to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, Phil, I think,
So
yeah, and then Carl did some
that-
extra work. Yeah.
That's my impression, is that
oh no, that's Julie. So I'll
it was
just-
No,
like,
I-
let's add it to the next meeting,
Okay.
to vote on, and then Carl has thought some more about it, come up with some more ideas. So that's, I think, where we're at.
And I'm happy to bring back to the board whatever majority.
I guess that's my
Wants us
question
to
is,
vote.
my question is, what's the direction from the board? And how does any of this fit into that?
Sure. I mean, the mission statement that is in the bylaws is the direction from the board. So does that mean that we can't, when the select board writes mission statements for policy or for any kind of bylaw, they put anything with the housing commission, they typically keep it pretty broad and generic. So, does that mean they wouldn't support a different mission statement? Not necessarily. They very well may entertain this just fine. I would say, we might want to have, if we agree as a committee to bring this back to the board for revision, I would say a couple of us would want, obviously I'll be there, but a couple of you would want to be there and kind of promote and endorse why you're wanting it to be, to look a little different.
But with everyone here,
Yeah, it needs to be a majority of the
yeah,
committee.
like,
Agreed. I'm just letting you guys know the process.
And
oh yeah.
what will typically happen with a mission statement is that, right now, we haven't developed a web page for the Economic Development Commission other than just hanging the minutes, because we don't have a mission statement. Normally, you put a mission statement there and say, this is what we're doing. And that's what you also present to the public in whatever form that you do. So good to have it, one that you like, says the right things.
Well, I have no problem with supposing. I would add my 2 cents. After the word that including for his medical successful, after English industry, so we had, while increasing the local tax base, and building local capacity. I think local capacity can also refer to the infrastructure needs that increased economic development would require water, sewer, fire.
So.
Also, out of this list, you left out, we left off manufacturing.
Light industry, no?
Well, in the original statement, we have light industry and manufacturing.
Oh, okay.
I don't, I don't know if that was intentional, but it was just, I just noticed it.
And manufacturing,
Well, for example,
and then, and building,
Yeah.
While increasing the local tax base is what Phil had said.
Yeah.
Capacity, right?
no. So it would read compatible light industry and manufacturing, comma, while increasing the local tax base, dash,
okay.
And
and
building.
building the local capacity to execute. So
I actually prefer that, and therefore, I'll make a move that we accept and present to the board that revised statement. I do like that a little bit better because the first one had an emphasis on bringing in new business and increasing the town's grant list, which is very important. But current business owners might see that as not promoting them as much, and I think it needs to be a balanced approach.
So, just so the record is as clear as it can be, what I have here is we get to and compatible light industry, and after that, say, and manufacturing, comma, while increasing the tax base,
Correct.
then dash, and then going on.
That,
So just increase,
That's
just in a, yep,
that's.
Okay. I got it.
I think what Damon is saying is that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
So if we're ready to make it an action item, then I guess
Damon made a motion.
you did make it
You
excellent.
just need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay,
My only comment is, simple is better, usually on mission statements. This may or may not be the case for that, but that's a semantic discussion that I don't really care about. So I think it's worth getting feedback from the board.
yeah, they might want to simplify.
I'm happy to bring it back.
it is a tad long, but we can always, in whatever we release to the public, only as part of it.
Yep,
If
that's
we,
true,
if we really want to. All right, motion's made, motion seconded, there's been discussion, any further discussion? I guess we'll do our first official act, those in favor of, this, presenting this modified, mission statement of the select board, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I will let you all know when that is an agenda. It
Yep.
likely will be the first meeting in April, at this point, but
Wednesdays?
first Wednesday, but I'll let you guys know for certain.
Yeah, but Chris, well, anyway, that's our organizational meeting after town meeting, but,
No, first meeting in April, not in
oh,
March.
oh.
This will come the first meeting in April,
Got it,
not March.
got it.
Just that one.
Okay. I'll let everybody know. I just don't have their schedule.
Well, the next agenda item is business list or registry. We got lots of materials on. I had a lot of fun selecting the proper print area and printing these out. And
We are paper. We are government. We are paper.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
but in any case,
Paper, doesn't
I think the question is that Bob, you've got an impressive list, and Damon, you've got an impressive list. Where do we go with this?
Yeah, ours is still a work in progress. I noticed one mistake tonight that I caught of somebody who's on that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and again, we are doing this anyways as part of work we do. So this was a tab on collating Secretary of State registries, trade name and business registrations, other lists we had and try to and figure out what's real and what's garbage. So that's our best effort as of February 25th.
I will say that I have, I'm going on my 5th year working here in Chester, and a lot of businesses on this. I know that some are big businesses and some are very tiny micro businesses. I know that, but it is kind of an impressive thing. What do you use it for?
So again, what I said before, yeah. So we're making a master list of businesses in the region.
Yeah.
In our service area. So, so for a variety of reasons, let's say a horrible one would be if there's a bad event.
Yeah.
And you need to reach out to people quickly.
Right.
that already exists. We don't have to go around with it as we've had to do,
Yeah.
say, a few years ago.
Mhm.
As well as other proactive things, and we're also gonna sort them into buckets. Small businesses, value added, et cetera. So depending on what the messaging is and what we need to do, make sure they know that we exist and that resources are available depending on what the situation is.
And I'm sure to collect things like email addresses, that's not on their Secretary of State website. So
It
you have
is,
to kind of collect it the old fashioned way, just by
Correct.
going to their website or talking to them or something like that.
Or we have them in ways or whatever.
Yeah.
So. And we have lists, and again, using the flooding, which is an awful example, but, there's businesses we didn't touch before that we touched during that.
Yeah.
So those are piled in as well.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure we're missing stuff, guaranteed.
Yeah, and I'm sure the one that Carl and I worked together to generate was run through multiple AIs. And so it was sourcing publicly available data. And so I'm confident that a lot of those things are entities that exist on the web that are no longer. So mine probably has a significant amount of closed businesses. When I did it, I just ran a diff on the two files through AI. And so it found 68 in the list that AI generated. That's not in your list. That could be differences in type, but it doesn't seem so. It looks like the AI would pick those out. And your list had 56 that aren't on the other list. So I would recommend that for us, perhaps we collate them.
Yeah.
And then,
If you want to send me yours, we can, scope it out and see if there's ones that are obvious to us.
yeah, I'm sorry. I thought
Maybe you
went
did.
out. I think it.
I think it did, yeah.
Okay.
It should be in your
Okay,
packet, yeah.
And I was making a note to myself to go back as Bob. I don't think I actually looked at your list specifically. I thought it was one Damon had generated.
They
So,
have both have sent one.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I need to go back and
Yeah.
look as well.
Yeah.
And the little crawler I put with AI was just off Damon's list for those few dozen email addresses that we were able to find.
yeah.
We'll fine tune it.
So
Sorry.
I was going to ask Julie, well, how were you envisioning that? I know we said it would be great value to have this registry. What
Yes.
would we do with it, do you think?
The registry for Chester, we're often like, there have been times that where we have needed to contact businesses and I've been like, okay, did we get everybody? Right, and we don't ever actually know.
Right.
And, some point down the road, I mean, it would just be nice, we have plans to beef up our, website at some
Yeah.
point. And it would be nice to be able to add, just to have that business registry, to have that list on our website and available to us or to be able to filter that and say, geez, we'd love to hear from all the restaurant owners,
Oh, yeah.
and filter that out. And I'm always terrified I'm missing somebody and I know I'm missing somebody.
Yeah,
And that's a horrible thing for the town to miss somebody.
I was
and
thinking
do an
that it's a great
invitation.
tool for us to solicit input.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
There is a list of businesses on the website now, which is
Not.
very small and out of date.
Exactly. And
And
that's only made up of
we
the people.
probably
that
wouldn't
reach
want
out
to
to
post
us.
something like this without asking if they want to be on it.
I don't know that, correct,
Yeah,
correct. And I don't know that all of this contact information would be posted.
right.
I'm thinking of something like, here's all the electricians in town, here's the
Yeah.
restaurants in
Right.
town, here's
Right.
and if they wanted to have links to our website, they
Right.
absolutely could. We used to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wanted to do the business registry first.
Yeah.
So that we could then have a forum or a meeting or something, because I do think that there's extreme value in inviting the restaurant owners. Come talk to us about the hurdles you're facing.
Being able to
What can we
separate them
do?
all
What can we,
by
exactly.
their own
Yes.
little areas of
Exactly.
expertise.
Right.
And then, I mean,
And I want to hear from them about
being
what
able to
they're
survey
trying.
them, gauge their,
Mhm.
do they want to be on the Chester website? Do they want, that kind of promotion?
Exactly. Yeah,
And if they have interesting stories too, I mean, those would be fun to run,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, so
Absolutely.
just renovated their kitchen or, new, things that would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
worthwhile to.
absolutely. But the basis is a registry. We just have never had it.
There is some duplication, obviously.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
is.
And I think that's kind of what they're gonna
If we
run with
notice
their.
any businesses missing, we can just send them to you.
Yeah,
or-
please. And there are some that are no longer in business.
Mhm.
There's many that are no longer in
Yeah, I
business.
think
I'm trying to, I think we got most of them on ours, but if there's ones you see on ours, that you see, let me know.
And I
Now-
think that's when you guys go
Yes.
through your differences, those are probably gonna pop up, yeah.
Is there sort of I mean, is it like the three of you that are sort of a?
I was gonna say, do you three wanna be a working group?
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
gonna
that's one
say,
of our agenda items, but
we have
the
the
three of you
subgroups.
be a
Yeah.
working group, you're less than a majority.
Mhm.
And work on that, and then when you have a product, then we'll add it back to the agenda and bring a product back. Does that make
Do we
sense?
memorialize this as a subcommittee then, or does that?
We'll do that under working agenda.
Okay.
And if you
Yeah.
don't want a subcommittee, we're a working.
Working group,
We're a
okay.
working group, there's
It-
differences in statute.
There's slight subtleties and we prefer to call it a working group.
I like it.
Uh,
It's easiest.
I think, in two
Not to
two
admit.
agenda items, we'll get down to appointing working groups. I just thought now was the appropriate time to say, hey, are you the working group?
Yeah.
Let's move on if that's okay.
We good on this?
Yep.
Perfect.
Because you guys
I love this committee.
You guys run with things so nicely, so yes. As far as community survey, did you have something you wanted to say, Barry, or? No, okay. I wasn't sure if I saw your hand. I did circulate that the last community survey that we did was by the Planning Commission. Tim Roper was the primary author, but it was by the Planning Commission, and it was rather different than what I think we're looking for. Carl came up with several, I guess, basically 5 possible sets of survey questions. One for property owners, one for residents, one for, well, that's kind of check our economic development, and one for second home, and one for businesses.
And visitors.
Businesses.
And then there's one for
Separate
visitors.
one for visitors.
Oh, I said second homes, visitor second home. Yeah, okay. Yep. Good. You don't have it in front of you?
I don't.
Why don't you pass this to Carl and in case you want to reinforce your thoughts, but.
You wanna
No,
share
I mean,
it with me?
like honestly, these are, these documents here, they're just kind of first passes. So I mean, kind of the thought would be if there's anyone who has, I mean, kind of like with the mission statement, like, everyone just have a chance to take a look at it and go, oh, this question's terrible, like, and massage it from there. So I don't know if you guys want me to read these out loud. I think
Let's start with the Chester property owner landlord survey.
Not necessarily, but we could.
So I think, so I read them so as a working group, Carl and I have been bouncing ideas off of each other. And I do think separate targeted, so a couple things that I propose we do, and perhaps a separate working group. One working group to look at the list and the gap analysis and that sort of compare that against the town plan and vision. And then a separate group, and I thought, Brian, this was something that you would be passionate about and really be able to help move forward. A group working on the surveys and, Carl did a first pass, but kind of sussing out those surveys. And then helping to get answers to the surveys and talk to folks. There's probably we have to be careful about how we report things because we want people to be honest and open, but we don't want to, we don't want to air anything that's controversial or, so we want it to be constructive and help us move forward and help. So I think, I think that was just a preliminary pass, but I would love to get kind of Brian in a working group, kind of helping with that.
Do we envision that the surveys would be sent out in like jot form or something, or
That was one of the-
SurveyMonkey, or?
That was one of the questions I asked about what are the tools that there's free ones, right? I mean, there's Google Form, Microsoft, like there's all these free survey tools that we can use. And that was, and again, part of the reason we were trying to collect as many email addresses as possible, at least for the businesses. But there's so, you can put a QR code up in the pie shop or, any of the shops and just have, visitors, click in and, right. So I'm not a survey expert by any stretch in terms of like soliciting POC work from massive amounts of people, but I don't know what's sanctioned and like how much levity we have in terms of how we can collect the data.
So for a survey, you can absolutely put surveys out, you can absolutely collect data, people need to know that that data is public information. So, anybody can do a public records request on survey results. So we want to ask questions that are not necessarily, confidential in any form.
Mhm.
Just be mindful of that. If people want to have those one-on-one conversations, that's fine. But yeah, we can just, we have to be able to keep available for public record requests is just the back data. Of how, like, if you're gonna do a summary of what those results show, we need to actually have the actual surveys as back data in case they're ever requested.
And I do think it makes sense
Not a lot
to
of time.
take the work that Tim did and see what I mean, it's a little bit dated and it's different questions, but I don't know how much was done with it, and so I'd like to at least use that and see.
The sad thing is nothing was done with it.
Okay, well, so.
It's enormous pet peeve of mine,
Yeah. I
when we
mean-
do things and do nothing with them.
Yeah,
I-
so.
So government, and
I
it's just,
I kind of went back and I thought, boy, we dropped the ball. We presented it to the planning commission and nothing was done with it. Yeah,
So I don't want to throw that out. I want to definitely do some analysis with some of the different tooling we have to see what's hidden there. And then bring that back to you all. So
Mhm.
that's something that I think Carl and I could probably take on and.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go for
I was
it.
like, don't cut him off. I think it'd be a great thing to, have it as a reason to talk to people.
Yeah.
And bring it to them in person and have that human contact, and
Mhm.
then also kind of make your own notes about your experience
Mhm.
that you had, other
Mhm.
than, I could present them with an iPad, I can give them a link,
Mhm.
whatever, but it'd be a good first contact that's showing that we're interested and we
Absolutely.
care
So,
and we
Brian-
want to know what you think.
This is
Absolutely.
right up Brian's alley.
And
right?
even the idea of if we had our own website to be able to like surface survey results.
Absolutely.
These are the kinds
and there
of
is a
things
page on the
people
town website, so that is
Yeah.
dedicated to the county.
I mean, having a dashboard of, well, this is how we're collecting data, and these are the, the goals we have, and these are the projects we're assigning to
Mhm.
support these goals, and being able to continually, I mean, how cool would it be to, do something and then, 6 weeks later, survey the, the community that it was meant for and go, did it help?
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what do you think we could have done
Yeah,
better?
yeah, good data to have. Absolutely, absolutely. And I love this. I do, though, I still want to have a forum where people come in.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because I do want that conversation that's in the public.
Mhm.
At some point. Not to replace, I think it's all and, right?
And to get them to come to the forum, this would be a good.
That would be
initial-
exactly an
Yeah,
invite,
point of contact.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I love it. I think it's great. Okay, so the next,
This is-
so that working group is going to work on formulating
Mhm.
the groups, what kinds of questions, all those types of
and it's
things.
the same three of you again, probably.
No, Brian's gonna be
That's
involved.
three.
Yeah, probably
Different
that's
three.
three of, I mean, I don't want to.
Phil, do you want to be a part of any working group? It's gotta be 3 or less.
Not yet.
Smart guy.
Good.
Since our next agenda item is
Brian Damon.
working groups, let's just sort of say the business registry was just Damon and Carl then?
And Bob,
And Bob, okay.
well, I'll be critical to that.
And then the community survey would be Brian.
Damon and Carl.
Right.
Okay. What other working groups would we like?
What
What's
other
your
major
passion,
projects?
Phil?
And this, well, yeah, but my vision is to bring in new commercial enterprises.
Yeah.
That would build new facilities.
Yeah.
That's how you impact on the grant list. I'm not quite sure how to wrap my head around attracting that piece of the universe. And if that can be a working group, great. Maybe, I could,
I mean, I guess my question, sorry, the question for you guys is, I know there's been a lot of work on housing in terms of identifying areas where you'd like to see housing growth. Has the same thing been done for commercial?
No.
Okay.
That's what this group is for.
But that to me is step one, right?
Sure.
Is what do you want? Where do you want it?
Well, we already have somewhat of an answer to that in the zoning maps.
What areas have infrastructure?
Well,
Yeah.
it's the parts of the town that are zoned light industry.
Right.
Commercial.
You know, and I'm in a public meeting and I'm cognizant that there's press here, but just, I mean, without naming specific parcels. I don't think there's a ton that is what I would call shovel ready or that, I mean, I know that some that is being marketed, you know, and, you know, assisting property owners with how to help market their properties and
Well,
so forth. And then we would come in with kind of hand-holding a project and figuring out incentives and trying to make the math work.
Identifying those.
Yep.
But I know we've approved some subdivisions in commercial light industry zones. I'm not sure that a lot has happened with those since.
No.
But, you know, those parcels would be, in my view, prime targets for discussion.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure, are they actively marketing those?
Yes.
They are?
My understanding is yes.
Hmm?
Yes, I believe they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
The-
then they fit in Bob's bucket, and we need to see how we can help.
A comment that I have heard, and this is talking more about the green and the downtown area, is that over time, you're seeing these buildings converted to either residences or law offices or real estate offices, and they're saying we really need shops and places to eat
Sure.
in order to attract tourists. And so that could be a task also, is like, how do we make it more
Right, well,
attractive for those kinds of people?
I think you first have to identify, and it comes back to kind of, in my mind, comes back to that gap analysis of identifying what are we missing.
Yeah.
I
mean, we all know the restaurant business is hard right now,
correct,
hard to make a living.
correct. And we do have a few restaurants in town, but I can't sit here and say that we need 5 more restaurants, or we need 2, or maybe we need none. I don't know.
I mean, I
So-
go back to my home, you know, my little neighboring hometown, that the lines outside of the door
Yeah.
were the biggest drivers of getting more businesses
Right.
for restaurants.
Yeah.
That's your excess
Yeah.
demand.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think the other things that we're gonna do in this committee, you know, where we think about, you know, a full 4-season calendar and how to get more foot traffic and how to get more people here, that's going to pump more dollars, more demand, which will then drive the supply.
Yeah,
I agree, Julie, that the gap analysis and related research will inform Phil's work group of potentiality, and there might be some low-hanging fruit that you could immediately try to move forward on
Yeah.
just by,
You find a property that has,
right?
is shovel, you know, the shovel-ready properties that you talk about.
And there probably should be a SWOT conversation too.
Mhm.
You know, and just a quick point on Preston's thing is that office square foot rates are higher than restaurant square foot rates, which are higher than retail, which are higher than manufacturing. I mean, so if you're a property owner, you want the highest and best use. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
just plays into this discussion as a nuance as well.
Yeah. It would be interesting to somehow develop a list of properties that are currently on the market, that are in commercial areas. I mean, there's a lot of things thrown around about all these empty buildings. They're owned by people. So what properties are on the market,
Right.
that are available, you know, for rent or for purchase, that are within areas that could be developed? I mean, that'd be interesting to have.
Would
To
that
your
be on
point,
the
Phil.
MLS, or would that be on some other registry?
I mean, we try to track that through area realtors.
Mhm.
People don't always advertise lease rates, you know, so trying to find space. It's not a ton.
No, there isn't. And that's my point. Because I have a lot of people that come to me and say, I'm trying to find, and it's not there.
And it's
So there's
unique to-
not
and
a
that's not
lot,
unique to Chesterfield
right.
right now,
There's
too.
not a lot available. for commercial space is my point. There are buildings that are not being used, they're empty, but they're owned with a purpose with a person that has a plan for that building. So those aren't really something we can snatch and develop, so.
And some of those might, once folks see that there's a good faith effort to help businesses grow business, then as we do surveys and talk and build trust with owners, they might be open to opportunities, whether
Absolutely.
that's to grow or to sell.
Exactly,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But we can do our best to try to find those properties that are not being used, they're vacant, owned, but not being used.
And I think that's a separate list.
Yeah.
A list of what's available and a list of what's just not being utilized in the best
Right,
way.
yeah, and then those that, went on LoopNet to die or.
One example that I think I can use safely with, even though this is a recorded meeting, is that when the Masonic Hall went for sale,
Correct, yep.
there were people that said, that'd be a great restaurant. Well, and there was even a guy who wanted to run a restaurant there, but the higher bidder for the property is the law office. And they've done a very nice job renovating. It's very attractive.
Beautiful apartment upstairs.
Yeah, and they have 3 apartment, well, 2, I guess.
They have two, a 3-bedroom upstairs. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
and
gorgeous.
that's,
Really is.
that's a value too.
And the rent's really,
It's an affordable
Yeah.
rent.
it's at a good price point. Whoever gets that's
Yeah.
nice.
We have a
I think-
question.
Can I chime in?
Sure.
Reluctant to chime in. So I moved here 20 years ago after having a place on Cape Cod on Route 6A. And I spent 5 years trying to find some place that had year-round business for I'll just call it an arts and crafts business to simplify it. And I rented a place near Lake Winnipesaukee during the summer. It was hard for me to find year-round there. It was either lake or ski, it seemed to me. And the whole time I have been here, I've said the same thing over and over and over, that the road that I am on is a freaking gold mine. And we do literally nothing to mine that gold. And it drives me crazy. My place looks like crap. I have more work than I can do. My sign fell down. I can't even take the time to fix my sign. Looks like I'm going out of business. I have no inventory. I carve stupid bears. People buy them as fast as I can make them. So the type of people that buy my work, I mean, I just brought a bear up the Burke Mountain. The Grahams bought it. I'm dealing with one of the daughters. They're billionaires. I delivered a bear to Stratton. Talking to these people, they're just emailing me, will not give me their phone number. Why? Well, it turns out the guy's a billionaire. We're moving his bear in the rain. And it's not all about billionaires, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of money coming through our town that we don't realize. One of my favorite stories to tell is I invited this guy to dinner with me. His name is Jay. I'm talking way too much. We're having dinner. First time I hung out with him. And I said, Jay, I'm sorry I'm talking too much. Please tell me something interesting from your life. He said, the most interesting thing that ever happened to me is when the Pope asked me to run the Vatican Bank. I'm still friends with Jay. We go to dinner. So with respect to that, one of the things that we have in this state that you don't have, like in Massachusetts, is the ability to have a home occupation. So when you're talking about low-hanging fruit, that home occupation is kind of your low-hanging fruit. The whole reason my business works, and not that well, although was able to pay my property taxes,
We appreciate that, Barry.
is that I have a live, work, sell environment. That I don't have to. When I was in Massachusetts, I had to live in a residential area, work in an industrial area, and then have a gallery. For a while, I had a gallery in an industrial park. Lived out on a river and a gallery in town. 3 things, 3 phone bills back in the day. So if you're going to start from a low hanging fruit, ground up way to grow, places, and a lot of the places in town here have a barn in the back, and if they hang out a sign and knit Angora sweaters and they're doing craft shows and traveling around, living out in the woods but don't have a roadside thing, if we could convince those people to move here, then we have a base to build on. And then the other metaphor that I made over and over and over is The only way you're going to, I don't mean to be so like I know something, because I don't know everything. Even though I'm a Pinsky, we're supposed to know everything. I don't know everything. My metaphor is this. In order to have enough frogs to support a restaurant, they have to have enough lily pads to hop on to keep their interest until they get hungry. We don't have that in our town. It bothers the heck out of me. I had a guy that friends with from the mill house down here, had dinner with him, stopped by with a carload of people, come on and see the gallery. We're headed to Woodstock. We have a dinner reservation. See you later. They didn't even get out of their car. So, I mean, it's a big uphill battle, but I think we have an incredible resource that as a single guy living in the middle of nowhere, every day I question, why the hell am I here? Where else could I go? I don't think there's a place in this country that I could have as much business as I have from this road as easily as I have it. I've been looking with single attractive women. I mean, I think that hair dye and lipstick, Bob. Do they sell lipstick?
All right.
We'll have a working group of that.
All right. So anyway, that's my thing. And then just, with respect to the manufacturing, I can't get help. It would be nice to build our tax base and so forth and so on, but if we don't have employees for some guy like me, we can't put in a factory. No offense to ideas, it'd all be great. But yeah, I have a tendency to talk too much. But in conclusion, it's a cultural thing too. We have the local and the Flatlander thing, and then whether or not people want tourism. And they're like complaining about tourists coming to Spain and Portugal now. They're already driving through here, but I think somehow we got to get our town on board that tourism is a valuable thing, or try to anyway, because I will quit with this. I was at the softball game in Springfield. Our girls play. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I met people in town. This was shortly after COVID, a while back, talking to this guy. What do you think of Chester? He says, it's getting a little too artsy fartsy. That's what he said. So this is an idea that some people in our town have. So how do you gain with arts and culture, which is something that people do tourism to do, if that's part of an attitude of a culture. And I don't begrudge anybody with any ideas of how they want to live their life or what they do in our town. People are different. That's great. But I don't think we have enough representation for arts and culture and what that can do just because it doesn't exist here. It's not that anybody that's not into that is a bad person. Everybody's good, but I think we could do better with more of that to kind of balance things out.
Yeah, I mean, but it seems like that person has a negative perspective on arts and culture, which one can argue we're in serious deficit everywhere for arts and culture.
It's kind of my thing. I'm a bit of a,
I mean, when you talk about barriers to entry to a new business and having to have 3 phone lines, if you are able to live, work, and produce in the same structure where I mean, to your point, we already have traffic, people coming through Chester. I think our goal is to get them to stay more than 10 minutes, right? You may not want them buying all of your second houses, but you do want them staying at night. And that's a place where Chester can compete, that you don't have to have, an Amazon factory down the road. I mean, you even look at some of the biggest employers, most of their employees don't live in Chester, right? They live other places. So it's like, how are you enriching the community by just employing a bunch of people who drive somewhere else? And I'm glad that they're here. I mean, they're sort of as an anchor for taxes, but it's not.
They're all pieces of a puzzle because they might shop and take lunch while they're in town or whatever too. So, and you do have 2 relatively new dining establishments that are open who are doing well. And I know.
Yes,
they're
no,
probably looking at them side of the market. So.
I do acknowledge that we do actually have 2 new dining establishments. That's pretty important.
Extremely well.
And this is tangential to what Barry said, but since I don't live in town and I tell people I work in Chester and we talk about it, there's a certain people that go from Rutland to Bellows Falls on 103. They don't even know there's a green. They never see it, and so it's just simple things like that.
I do think in our earlier analysis, we know that there's we might not be the destination for a while without some work.
Yeah.
However, if we can do the right marketing and support, we can get people to know what is here. And I do think there is enough to get them to stop and spend time and stay over while they're, maybe continue on the next day.
Mhm.
And I do think not just in Chester, but in
Yeah,
surrounding
so-
immediate areas.
So getting to the agenda item, which is working groups, I mean, two I thought of, one is the gap analysis, the other is a marketing study, but I just don't, or a marketing plan, but I don't know if we're quite there yet.
I don't
but
know if
those
we
are
are
the two
either.
I'm thinking of.
And I'm nervous about too many projects all at one
Right, I
time.
am too.
But we can always,
Yeah.
capture those notes, and even if it's phased, it's like, okay, well, let's do a marketing plan after we do the initial
Absolutely,
surveys.
yeah.
It's
Agreed
like-
100%, yeah, agreed 100%.
Did you share the village master plan with this group?
Did I forget to share that?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think it.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
So it's on,
It's dated,
and it's
but
on the
there's a fair
website.
amount of
It's on
stuff
the
in there that's still.
It's
all this discussion.
correct.
was done before I came and it is dated, but it has a lot of stuff in it.
It has a lot of stuff in it,
Yeah.
and when we did the master plan, that was one of those that I required for there to be an implementation matrix. So, that we actually could check out projects, actually do things that the master plan talked about, and we've accomplished a lot of them, on that list, but there is a link to it right on the website.
Yeah, 4 towns in this area went through that process, and
Yeah.
even Springfield have done the best with actually doing stuff from
Yeah,
it.
we've done a lot from it. It does need to be updated.
Do you know where on the website it is? I'm looking now, and it did not jump out at
Oh,
me.
sorry, Phil. We just,
Sorry.
we just have a long conversation.
That'll be part of the marketing.
Yeah.
The town's website.
Please. I mean, the Squarespace site is fine, right? That's easy enough.
A lot of towns use a canned program by, I'm not sure if we do or not, anyway.
Squarespace lets you optimize for both local and
Oh, yeah.
web, so it's like regardless of how you open it, it's like.
Yeah, when you're designing it, you can have a different design for mobile, like you move things around. So it looks good on the phone, because, 70-80% of people are looking at websites on the phone.
I don't know your business, but I do get that there are some websites that are not
Alright.
friendly to phones, yeah.
Oh, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure how,
It took a bit to find it.
I just did a search for it and it came up, so.
Yeah, okay, good.
Our website is a canned program, isn't it?
It is, it's
Yeah,
a
that's what I
Weebly
thought.
platform.
Yeah.
Really?
It's Weebly. It's gotta be something, because the town doesn't have, like, I don't have a person that deals with our website, right? Amy just posts stuff. So when we had that done, it had to be something that was easy
Mhm.
to manage, from people that are not trained to do that. But it is a side conversation I was gonna have with you.
Train the trainer kind of thing, like just
Well, we
do a
need
refresh.
to, it's, I don't know if we need a whole new thing. It's just, it's really messy. You can't find anything.
You need a whole new thing.
Well, I think it's
It's
critical
just-
to this board. I mean, what
Yes.
we're trying to
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
Correct.
it's our outward face. If you're in Boston or New York and you're Googling
Yeah.
Chester, you want to.
Correct. And so I don't know if we do that now or if we wait and see the direction
Well,
we're
that could be another
heading and
committee
then.
meeting.
I was gonna say, working group is the website,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I work mostly with small businesses, so
Yeah.
they don't have a lot of, staff or extra, so I develop a Squarespace site for them and then I teach them how to manage it, which
Okay.
is usually very manageable for
Okay.
them. And even if they have no experience.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, we're making
okay.
updates every week to our website, so it has to be fairly easily
Yeah,
accessible.
Amy, we have to post constantly, I mean, minutes, agenda, all that kind of stuff. So it just needs to be something that Amy can easily manage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we need to, and of course, there's nothing budgeted for this year for that. But we'll take, my thought was there may be something we can do with what we've got to get us through until next year, or maybe the board would be willing to use economic development funds for it. It's another conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that website's not gonna cost more than $300 a year, $200 to
Okay.
$300 a year. And they have excellent customer service.
Okay,
I mean, they used to. I've heard some things lately, but
Okay.
better than most.
all right, well, let's talk about that. That would be great.
So I think
Gap.
what I'm hearing is,
The gap analysis, who's,
Yeah, so there
We're-
was,
Well,
I think we suggested two working groups. One was the
Business.
business
registry.
list
Yeah.
and gap analysis, kind of foundational.
is the gap going with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. 'cause
Oh,
it
okay.
feeds into it, yeah. And then the
Okay, and that's the three of you.
the contact
Survey.
list survey,
Yeah.
5 different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't realize gap was with the business registry. Perfect.
so then,
I think these working groups will expand and contract and move to the next piece in the puzzle, like these will feed into what Phil's thinking about.
Agreed,
Yeah.
agreed.
It's
How,
very episodic of like, we're gonna work on this project for this next month, and then we'll.
And it might make sense to have a high level plan of what these things might be.
yeah,
And I think that's something that we
Yeah.
can think about the
Yeah.
next
so
month.
so the flow should be, so you guys get together, you're gonna work on a business registry. The next meeting, you're gonna report back to the group.
Mhm.
We don't necessarily have to have all the back data, just kind of your product. And then the
Mhm.
board can approve or whatever, on the whole committee, right?
Understanding it's a living document.
It's a living document,
Yeah.
exactly.
We won't bury
Exactly.
you with a bunch of,
We were gonna send each of us 3 copies of the same kind of information, and all of them are gonna be a little bit
Because
different.
here's
but
the
you're
deal,
not gonna
guys,
know.
I have to print one out and have it in a file, okay? No.
yeah, we'll give you the outcomes.
Thank you.
so
The survey group will have surveys by the
Yep.
next time for
Perfect.
approval.
we have
Perfect.
2 working groups, and then we have pending, a marketing plan and a website, but, and there may be others.
Working groups, yeah.
Maybe the survey group becomes like a digital group,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
So it's
Yeah,
like
it could be,
website,
yeah,
marketing.
maybe-
Well, yeah,
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Where just
Yeah.
kind of like after we get the survey, we shift over to the digital side of things.
I would say some of that probably, like, what we have to be careful of is that like all the work of the Economic Development Committee is not being done by a working group, not in the public eye. Do you see what I'm saying? So you need to kind of divide it by task,
Mhm.
come back,
Mhm.
you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, so
You know
we'll-
what I'm saying?
We're just
Careful they don't
ruling that when
morph
we may
into-
reform as
Yeah.
a marketing development group
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
website.
Thinking like 2 or 3 steps ahead from where you are.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But should
exactly.
there, I mean, when you were talking about, and David, you brought it up about having kind of an overarching, like, an implementation plan, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you want to be leading that implement? I mean, even, this has been kind of your baby for a few years
This is
now.
what, I know what I want to accomplish,
Why don't you
but,
tell,
but to be honest, like, listening to all this is like, oh, I like that, oh, I like that. So there's a lot to this world, this is why I have you guys. There's a lot to this world that I don't know, which is why you're all here.
Because you and Preston work in and for the town, it would be fine for you guys to put your bulleted wish list of things that you would hope that this group could help accomplish. And we'll augment and add to it, but
yeah, even if
I'm
it's like
happy to
year
do that.
1, year 2, year 3, like, what does success look like in 5 years if we've done our job here,
Right.
Those-
And I think that's part of the feedback from the board regarding the mission statement too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be helpful.
So a list of objectives.
I mean, we want the train coming here. We want to have a connector for the,
I'm all over it.
Maybe.
That's
we
my
want to have the
thing.
snowmobiles able to park behind the Fullerton so they can just get smashed
I'm
and
thinking
stay the
about
night
picking
and
up
then
carbon
go to Canada.
cans, so.
Mm.
Okay, I'll work on a list of the things that I know I want
We want some
produced.
insurance for Barry, to do carving, well, indemnity waivers for the chainsaws.
Do we have to do anything formally to get those working groups determined?
No.
Or we're good?
You're good at this point.
Okay, awesome.
They are working groups.
They're
not-
working groups,
not
they are
subcommittees.
informal,
They're
yep,
informal.
and that's the goal.
Nice.
And they will report back, and then that's what the public session, yep. So, we are through the agenda, that doesn't mean that we,
I had one question on
Yeah.
the taxes.
Yep.
Overall, I mean, I was surprised at how healthy it looked, especially once you normalize by taking COVID out. It looked like overall sales were going up 750,000 a year. Restaurants were going up 80,000 a year once you pulled out the bad COVID years. But we lost granularity or visibility into room receipts. It suppressed data from 24th.
Yeah, because you had places closed. You have less lodging establishments. You have less than 10.
You
Oh,
have less than 10, so they will not break that out.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Which
How much farther under 10 are we? Because
I have no idea.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. From this, I don't know.
oh, we'll have to find that out from the list.
Yeah.
And that'll be like, why do you guys want more hotels? I just want to see the data, guys.
I want to see the
We
data.
need
but
a few
there-
more of you guys to
There
open
is a
it.
conversation to be had, I would think, about is there a desire to increase, to Barry's point, if you want tourism, you need to have infrastructure.
You have to have capacity for
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
which is
And even having-
dining and lodging.
And it's having like an inventory of like, okay, we've got 60 something short-term rentals. We've got 20 rooms at the Fullerton. We've got 7 here, like, but cobbling together, what is Chester's capacity for these different
But
functions?
also understanding the occupancy rate.
Mhm.
I mean, a shift,
They may not share that directly, but hopefully we can help them lift it up.
but
by our
that,
work.
but that helps you understand the feasibility of whether it makes sense to add units and the feasibility, frankly, of places like the Fullerton that are larger scale and stuff. I mean, Chester made out very well before Okemo built Jackson Gore.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
That
think
had an impact.
if we gain trust and can align incentives, then people will engage and share.
What, it was the bedroom capacity at the Jackson Gore that you're saying was the.
Well, I mean, I'm simplifying history and
Yeah.
For the sake of a story,
Yeah.
but when Okemo became Okemo,
Yes,
there wasn't a whole lot of lodging in Ludlow. So Chester and Springfield both made out really, really
yeah,
well.
okay,
And then capacity increased. I'll use Jackson Gore as kind of the poster child of that, and it,
sure,
I believe, had a significant impact.
yeah, okay, that's good enough.
You want to say something, Rob?
No, I was just thinking what Barry said earlier. I did not know about, people being able to work and live from their spaces. And I think that's an interesting thing to explore in the future.
That is definitely something that Vermont allows, yes.
And we have several that do.
I mean, Scott has guitar business, right? Like,
Yeah.
And he's world famous. I mean,
Yeah.
he's and on PBS NewsHour tonight, according to.
I don't think anyone.
Yeah.
I taped it. Here we go.
Barry.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll try to be succinct. When I was a kid, I started my chainsaw carving business from my family going up to Hayward, Wisconsin, to the Lumberjack World Championships that were on Wide World of Sports. The guy that started that, his name was Tony Weiss. My friend Fred, who was a little kid when that was going on, now owns the Lumberjack Bowl. I traveled with the Shears Lumberjack Show champions, his family that grew up in that town. My buddy Robert has a lumberjack show in Alaska. The daughter Tina, my friend, has one in Maine. The moral of the story is Tony Weiss also started the Burka Binder on Facebook. My friend Fred and now his son Cassidy, who's 30-something, are skied the Burka Binder together. Town full of people. This guy, way back when, with his ideas, was able to make something happen that's gone on for years now. I tried to do that a little bit with the carving festival. I'm a messy guy. Maybe it was my problem in not helping cleaning up, not having whatever. Maybe I don't have the personality that Tony Weiss had. Things like carving festivals. I'm getting into comedy now. I really like that. Comedy festivals. My goal with the carving festival is to do it on the shoulder season. You're talking about rooms, having availability. Stick season and mud season sinks a lot of people. So and then to bring this full circle, we have one major festival in our town. That's it. Festival on the Green, hugely successful, primarily because Lee's a freaking wacko and does everything and has good help. But he's a winner. He's like having Big Papi on your baseball team. If we didn't have Lee, it wouldn't work like that. But why don't we have more things like that is my point. A lot of my friends that have homes here, ski homes, whatever, they bring friends up. They love it here. I think they do want more things to do. I think they would come in shoulder season. And then it comes down to what everybody says in town. We have a small group of people that's involved in everything. So how do we do more? But if we can open up other opportunities, like there's a guy that produces festivals, one down in the Berkshires and some other places. If we get some promoter type people or comedy people or festivals or whatever, make our town available, especially in the shoulder seasons. I'm just thinking stability, and I'm thinking the bottom up. That's the way I'm looking. If you have ideas or things that you want to do that are grand, we have core problems here that are very difficult on businesses. Stick season, mud season, all kinds of people on the holiday weekends where you don't have enough employees, and then nobody there in the middle of the week. You're trying to pay your employees, you're trying to keep your food from spoiling, and you can't. It's not an easy place to have a business. So if you're trying to do business here, why are you here doing it when there's a lot of other places that you could make money a lot easier? These are the hurdles that we're really up against. So I'm kind of, can I say that this was in part my idea, this board?
No.
It wasn't part my idea. I wanted to do it on the planning
Long
board.
before you.
Well, whatever. I'm glad. My point is, I'm glad that it happened. And Bob and Julie both said we could not do this on the planning board because planning is for land use. Thank you for that clarification, Bob. You're a very smart man.
Every now and then.
But I'm excited for what you all are trying to do, and I hope that you don't get discouraged. Just want to say one more thing. If you go to the fans in the stands for your plays, you're probably not going to win the game. Somebody's got to be smart enough and innovative enough to come up with the real ideas to make it work. Because the fans in the stands are fans in the stands for a reason, and they're going to be loud, but they don't know the game like the people that have to call the plays. They're not Bill Belichick or Tom Brady. You guys got to be that. This isn't going to be easy.
Thank you for your optimism, Bear.
I'm a realist.
And I can't resist adding, I do live in Woodstock, and I don't want to say at all that Woodstock does everything right, because they don't. But they try during the summer to have an event on the green every weekend,
Yeah.
which for those of us who live there is like, oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
It's like the Chester Festival every
I'd
weekend,
like
but
to do
it
something
does,
really-
it does. That's what it takes to support merchants, yeah. So, no, the festival's a huge event, but I mean, but it would be nice to have something not quite so big, but
Yeah.
more often.
I mean, I love the idea of smaller things,
Yeah.
quarterly, would be great because that gets you every season,
Yeah.
at least a good bolus. And then if it's successful, you can be like, okay, well, let's do a month. And then if that's too much, we can go back to, it's easy to, if we're kind of,
And some of the things Woodstock does, they've had lobster on the green, they've had Chili Fest on the green. I mean, that has nothing to do with Vermont. They just do it and people
Yeah.
come anyway.
But you have to have people.
But you have to have people to run it, and you got, yeah.
which I think it's a really good experience though. I mean, if we are, so one of the things that's super important to me is like you've got seniors, you've got young people, and there's a lack of employment opportunities, but things like that provide experience, right? And it's a good way for people to get involved and get engaged and to like actually do something they can put on their resume because it requires really tangible skills that are translatable. It's like, well, I called, 50 people and I grew this from 5 vendors to 50. Like it's powerful stuff.
So,
We're-
It's a bigger question. It's probably
Yeah.
a bigger discussion.
Say it, Brian.
No, I just, slowly, hopefully changing the town's attitude about things, because there's a lot of really grouchy people here who don't, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna speak
Brian,
plainly.
no, there's
And they don't want,
No.
they're living in yesteryear, even like
Yes.
cool people that I know, they're like, oh, we don't need tourists, we need like, and she was referencing things when she was 20 years younger and there were more people 20 years younger doing the things that she was doing. And now those people are not 20 years younger anymore and
Right.
they're not doing those things anymore. And,
Right.
the reality is that those people, that's not going to support just them alone is not going to support the businesses because they're not going out as much because they're older, they're not spending as much money. So, but it does seem, I do get a little discouraged because it's like, why am I going to put all this effort and energy when everyone's like so grouchy about change?
Right.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah. I think there is that. I don't know that that's the majority though. And I think we have the curmudgeons that are just loud. But I talk to a lot of people, and the majority is excited about this because the majority understands. I mean, people are grumpy nowadays because of taxes and just the country at large, right? But a lot of people also understand, to something that Phil has been harping on, since we started, is that there's another side to the tax base, right? You got to grow the grand list. And in order to do that, you need to bring business in, and in order to bring business in, you need to make your place that people want to be, and you got to have housing for that, and you got to have stuff for them to do, and it's all part of the big picture. I think that this group will get more support than you think. It's getting people to be. It's like the housing commission. It's like we want that one project to get done that shows people, like, this is something we can do. This is real. You can actually do it. It's the same thing with this. And I think, as simple as it is, I think your business registry is part of that. And then moving on to these surveys and where people are having one-on-one conversations with business owners, that's going to be bigger than I think we probably realize. I think that's going to have a bigger impact, because what it's immediately going to say to the business owners is, oh, okay, so there's a group of people that actually want to hear what I have to say about what I hate about this town or what I love about this town. People haven't had that here. Business owners have never had that here.
And I also think you may have a facet where you have certain business owners who push their chips in with us and they go all in, and they want to be more successful, and they start realizing the success. And you're going to have some people who maybe drag their feet a little bit, and hopefully watching their peers become more successful makes them not want to fall behind, right? Like it's easy to be a curmudgeon when no one's moving, but when you see people starting to get ahead because they see value in what we're doing and we're generating value, I mean, it's transformation.
And you need to be prepared that not 100% of the people are going to like what is happening, and that's okay.
No matter what.
They don't have to. No matter what. Absolutely.
I mean, people who
but
are
the
complaining
majority
that the
will.
Chester Festival was too big.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
Those are good problems to have.
Absolutely.
You can figure out, you can dial it back, but it's hard to build demand.
I'm encouraged. We have to also just plan to help encourage each other, because it will be work.
It's going to be work, and it's going to be a long road. Absolutely.
And I'm an oversharer, but I feel like it serves a purpose, like I think it's good to have those discussions.
Absolutely.
I think it's good to highlight that it's likely going to happen. And then it's also, I think we can count it as a win if it doesn't happen as loudly as we fear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it is a shift, it is a change. But we've had a tremendous support for the Housing Commission, and I figured we would have some headbutting on that, maybe for sure. But we haven't,
There's,
we have a lot of support. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
I mean, there's that little undercurrent. We don't want a lot of Section 8 housing, which we all
Correct.
get. But other than that, it's not, I mean,
No,
we've had
people
plenty of
have been
forums, and
supportive.
we have not
I've
had
been surprised.
anyone really being highly critical. Yeah.
And then but you do have the people. You have people that I can solve your tax problem, Julie. Just don't have a rec department and fire all your police officers. I mean, and they think it's an amazing idea. I'm like, well, there's a good combination. So you do have some people that just.
Okay, we're through the agenda. This is a group that likes to get
Move to adjourn.
moved to adjourn.
Oh, wait a minute, next agenda though.
Well,
So I have written down, I'm sorry, I'm taking.
yeah, no, absolutely.
I have written down, for me, the list of objectives. And then the business registry, an update on the business registry, an update on the gap analysis, is that what we call it? And an update on the surveys. Anything else we want to add to the next agenda?
You will not have spoken to the select board by that time.
No. So, well, I will have a new board, one way or another, I'll have a new board.
It might be premature, but if you have your list of objectives,
Yeah.
your wish list of.
I've got that. I've got that on here. Yep.
The next meeting will be March 25.
If that is the fourth
That is-
Wednesday.
That is, yeah, I put it on that.
The 20th of February,
Yeah.
someday.
Except they're leap year.
Well, right, right. So now I'll move to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second even though we don't.
and second, those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, start recording.
So is that the new Preston or not?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
I enjoy seeing your comedy clips.
So you guys are like Tom Brady and Gronk.